everybody? I love that this audience reads.
Yeah!
Very impressive. I was like, wow, is anybody going to come? Because when they first asked me to do the show, I was like, I should do a show. I want to do a show. I'm new in LA. I want to do a show. And then I looked at the title and I was like, oh, I don't read. But I do read. I read self-help books. So I said I would like to do a self-help book. And then the literature professor informed me that that is not literature. For a little while there, and I don't know, let's see. And then I dug into my past and I came up with something. So, literary giant. You guys are all smarter than I am. So yeah, I grew up in Oklahoma. Thank you. I was an artsy child, which doesn't really fit with Oklahoma. I wanted to be in theater. I loved theater, and so my first role was I was a bumblebee at Will Rogers Theater, and I was so committed to my role that when I came off stage at 5 years old, I ran up to my mom and I said, "Mom, did you think that I really died?" For some reason, they did a play where all the bumblebees died. And I was so committed that I hoped to convince people. The next part I got that really meant a lot to me, in high school, I was a munchkin. In The Wizard of Oz, thank you. And I wasn't just a munchkin, I was the munchkin. My role was to discover the Wicked Witch's legs underneath the house that fell, and I had a line. My line was, so I got it. Wow! So they invented an award for me, Best Townsperson. But what I really wanted to do was Shakespeare. Yeah. And I'm going to remind you I was in Oklahoma. So that wasn't happening. So I went to law school, moved to Washington, D.C., and became a lawyer. And I didn't really fit in there because I had emotions on my face. And I smiled sometimes. Which is really not a good idea. So I quit the law quit me. And I finally moved to New York City to be an actor. And I auditioned a bunch, and I finally got cast in a Shakespeare play. I was Bianca in Taming of the Shrew, which is not the lead part, but it is the pretty girl. So somebody thought I was pretty. That's pretty cool. So that went well. And in my the parting little notes that the directors write to the actors after the show closes, that's so cool, right? Mm-hmm. The director wrote me this note that he said he liked my combination of sexual energy and ambivalence. That's my specialty. So, yeah, thank you. It is kind of good, right? Because you're like, what's going to happen next? I have no fucking idea. She's going to kiss me or kill me. So anyway, let's get to the literature. So then I had a boyfriend. Thought somebody thought I was pretty. I was living in New York City. And they were all NYC graduates in this theater company, so I felt like I was getting the education without paying for the tuition, and it was amazing. And then they asked me to be on the board of directors, probably because of the law thing, but I wasn't into that. But anyway, which meant I got to help choose the next play. And I suggested As You Like It. Yeah. Rosalind, because I needed to be Rosalind. I had to be Rosalind. She's witty, she's brilliant, she's not from Oklahoma. So and she has the most lines of any Shakespearean female character. So if I could really, do Rosalind well, I knew that I was an actor, right? And the other cool thing about this theater company is where we did the shows in Washington Square Park. Oh, wow. Yeah, not Central Park, but Washington Square Park, which meant that we had drunks and drug addicts and families and any kind of New Yorker wandering through our scenes, which is great because that's what Shakespeare had, right? The ragamuffins, all the kind of people. So I was pretty psyched. I'm going to be Rosalind, right? We started having the auditions, and my redheaded boyfriend, somehow that seems relevant. Called to say that would I mind if he cast someone else as Rosalind. Yeah, I mind. And this is when I started getting my Rosalind up. I'm like, you know what? I mind. I'm gonna be Rosalind, and apparently my bedroom skills are not insignificant, so he said yes. And he asked me who I would like to be my Celia, because if you know the play, of course, Celia and Rosalind are best friends. Celia is Rosalind's cousin. They live in the kingdom, and I'll give you a little. Celia's father, Duke Frederick, banishes my father, Duke something, I don't remember something, and because he wants to take over the kingdom, as happens in Shakespeare. And so anyway, he asked me who would I like to be my Celia, my best friend, my cousin. And I think, well, you know what, why don't we let it be, how about Lori? Lori's also one of the NYU graduates, she's part of the theater company, and I thought this is building bridges, and he said, okay, we'll make it. So I'm controlling this whole thing, right? It's great. So we start rehearsals. And in the first rehearsal, and the second rehearsal, and third, and fourth, and fifth, and sixth rehearsals, I'm noticing that Celia is glaring at me, and she's humping a lot, and she doesn't seem to like me very much. Neither does Touchstone, who's our fool that goes in with us Forrest after we're banished. It's clear that these NYU graduates, at least these two, are not particularly enamored with me or my Rosalind, and I don't understand why until it hits me. The redhead used to date the shrew from the Shrew, Tangled Shrew. And this theater company is kind of tired of this redhead casting his girlfriends as the lead characters. Now, I get that, but I'm new to the thing. I'm standing up for myself. I'm a girl from Oklahoma. I don't want to be a munchkin. I don't want to be a bumblebee. I need to be Rosalind. So, fortunately, the audience likes me. And I get to have Orlando. You guys know about Orlando, right? I know. So Rosalind she dresses up like a boy to go when she's banished. She goes into the forest. I was going to wear a hat, but I forgot it. And you can see how we can put my hair up. You don't recognize me anymore, right? So that's how it works. So I'm in the forest with Celia, who hates me, and Touchstone, who hates me. But the audience loves me. And so that's going well, and you know, because we're in Washington Square Park, the jungle gym is the castle, and the forest of Arden, where we're banished to, it's just a couple trees in the corner of the park, is it's environmental theater, which now they call immersive theater. But back then, so we were wandering all over the park doing the play. It was fucking fantastic, right? It's so cool. And so everything's going well, and then one of the nights, the shrew shows up. And from the last play, who's also the ex-girlfriend of the boyfriend that I got now, and she is right, so in one of the most dramatic scenes in the forest, she's right there, she's got a flashlight, she's shining in my eyes, and she's like this. And she hates me too. But I'm a good actor. So I just keep going. And I just keep going, and I'm doing so well with this. I've got Orlando in the forest, and one of the fun parts of the play is that you get to, Rosalind gets to cross-examine Orlando to make sure that he really loves her as Ganymede. Because when he doesn't recognize me, because I got my hair up. So I'm asking him all these questions, and I'm keeping him on his toes, and that's pretty super fun. And so I just want to quickly read one thing that the literary people say about Rosalind, because I really want you to appreciate how amazing she is. Literary writes, it said, Rosalind's character in the framework of gender conventions that ascribe femininity with qualities like gracefulness and warmth. However, Rosalind's demanding tone toward Orlando contradicts these conventions. She rejects these stereotypes of femininity, believing that the wilder the woman, the way, this is not making sense to me. By claiming women who are wild and smarter than those who are not. That's the point I wanted to get across. Wild women are smarter than those who are not. That's my main point. Anyway, this all goes very well. And it becomes really probably the high point of my show business career to date. And I'm not ashamed of that because there's two things that also happened. If you've ever heard of John Guare? John Guare? He, kind of a famous playwright guy. Marco Polo sings solo, I believe, and then like Danny and the Deep Blue Sea, maybe, is that him too? One of those. But anyway, famous guy. There's a theater publication called American Theater, and somebody interviewed him and said, there's my Oklahoma accent, American Theater. And somebody interviewed him and said, what do you think of theater? What is theater to you? And he said that theater is when he was walking through Washington Square Park the previous night and noticed some young actors. Oh shit, yeah, I'm getting choked up doing As You Like It. That was us. And the other thing that happened is after one of the shows, at the end of the show, this man came up to me with his family all around him, all these little kids and all his whole big family, and in broken English he put his hand on his heart and he looked straight into my eyes and he said, you make us feel. It was all wrong. Should I read? And I'm just going to do one more thing. I should lead on that, probably. But I can't stand it. I have to do like a little bit of the play.
Yes!
Thank you. Yeah. So there's so here we go. This is, let's see, here we go. So here we go. It is not the fashion to see the lady, the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the Lord, the prologue. And then there's some stuff about wine and bushes and my way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men. It's hard to read this. To like, it's just dark. To like as much of the play as please you. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering that none of you hate them. That between you and the women the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breasts that I defy not. And I'm sure as many as have good beards, or good faces, or sweet breaths, will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.